Hello, good evening, Twin Minds here. Tonight we're doing Kerbals. Surprise, surprise. Last night, though, was 7 Days to Die, which was a nice departure from my usual, so that was fun. Might get back to that sometime soon here, but tonight we're doing more Kerbals, and we're going to try to make more progress. I don't know how much progress I have to make, but we'll see. Let's see, where were we? Where were we? Hey, it's the Kerbals! Where were we? Oh yeah, I wanted to recover this guy at some point. That's actually surprisingly lucrative for a near or a low orbit recovery. It does say without damaging it too much, so not entirely sure how I plan to do that just yet. I still have my Mun station. Now, last I left off, the other night, whenever that was, I had the station built and ready to launch. And then it all went to hell. So, I think I want to try launching that tonight. Now, the problem with that being, I tried launching it in my off time, after I reloaded the game and everything was fine, and it flies like a diseased whale. Cat agrees, apparently. Hi, Cat. Hey, no, come here. Are you just going to sit over there and yell at me then? No, all I'll have to do is stare at him all night. Well, we're about to launch it, and you'll see how bad it flies. Hello, kitty. Hello, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Yeah. I understand. I don't understand, but I understand. Alright, so let's pull up the diseased whale. I might even rename it that just because. 500,000 is the total. 500,000, $11.80, just to be exact. Alright, so here is our diseased whale. So first thing to note... So first thing to note is my staging is correct in here. But as soon as I load it, the staging is all wrong. So I don't know what's causing that, but it's bad. So my staging is middle stage, solids, the outer liquid stages, and these things. Then we release the solids, and then deploy all of the parachutes related to the solids. Fair enough. It seems logical enough. Then we deploy the first of the two liquids on the asparagus staging. Then we do the other two of the liquids. Then we drop the bottom half of the biggest stage and launch the next stage. All's fine. And then all the way up here, it goes a little bit muddy because I wasn't quite sure what order I wanted to deploy all these in. But I think one of them was drop these guys off at the next stop, and then get them moving, and then the rest of these stages are related to bringing this thing back. And then this is the final stage, which revolves around dropping this liquid off of the main station. So from here, it gets muddy. But this stage is related to getting the station in orbit around the Mun, and then this is all getting the tourists back again. So all of my staging is correct. Now we launch the thing, and we'll see how bad it is. I am glad I don't have the spit take problem, by the way. I haven't done any form of spit take since I was like 8. Partly because I'm not a very reactive person, and I've been really trying to fix that. But for the most part, I'm not a very reactive person. I've been trying to be reactive. It's difficult for me, honestly. I'm very deadpan a lot of the time. no matter how I am enjoying something. So I've been working on it, but it takes some time. It takes some effort. I don't know. Let me look. Hold up. Did it just say that now? Because that happened last night. And yes, that was someone who was following me last night when we were doing 7 Days to Die. And it's one of my regulars who just decided to make a new account. It was going through recent followers. Oh, okay, recent followers, yeah. No passengers. Oh, right. I need to add passengers because apparently no passengers. But yes, yeah, Twin Mind's brother, that was just one of my regulars who decided to create a new account for reasons unknown, but, you know, for the sake of it. Apparently I have a fan. I don't know what to make of that, but oh well. So now staging has gone all sorts of hell. Now the staging is middle, parachutes, solid, engines, and then all 4 of the solids, and then these things, and then the asparagus staging, and then the other 2 of these things, and then the other asparagus staging. So I don't know why my staging has gone to shit, but I need to redo the whole thing out here, despite the fact that it's saved properly in the vehicle assembly bay. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Let's create a new one of these. Drop those down. And then we release the solids, which can go in with all the parachutes. I mean, I'm glad that the parachutes are all in the same group, so I don't have to remove all of those. But still, it's a little bit jacked up. Let's see. Those parachutes need to move up a phase. That needs to move down a phase. Okay, so that covers the staging again. I want to check the asparagus to make sure the right ones are dropping in the right phases. Those ones first, and then those ones. Yes, that's right. Okay, staging is back to normal again. Not that that's going to help, because it's going to break again the next time I launch, but still. So, what I have done up until now is try to engage the autopilot and watch this thing go to shambles. So I'm going to try to just launch it straight and see if it's even capable of flying straight up. Because if not, then something's going to have to be fixed. Okay, it appears to be able to go straight. That's a good thing. So now, engage autopilot. Rotating. Okay. Okay. It's doing a lot better now. Previously when I was engaging autopilot before launching, it would try to rotate as it was coming off of the launch pad, and it would just go crazy. It would go all over the place, and by the time it got to about this altitude, it was upside down and pointing back at the vehicle assembly bay. So that clearly wasn't the right answer. But now it seems to be going well. Supposedly. According to the nav ball, it's in line with the 90. It appears to be going well. This is weird. I wasn't expecting this to work. However, it looks like we might run out of liquid fuels before we run out of the solids. At least in the first asparagus stage. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Mark, you just got here. You can't be back later. You have to be here first before you can be back. Don't worry about it, Mark. You enjoy yourself wherever you're going. Actually, it looks like the solids might run out at the same time as the first asparagus stage, which is fine. Not a huge issue. Hopefully the autopilot doesn't try to stage them both immediately and, like, blow something up. I'm drinking water. Because water is good for you. You have a good night as well, Mark. Looks like the solids are going to run out first, and the liquids will be shortly after, but there will be enough lag time that it shouldn't be a problem. Now it's a matter of, will the solids disengage properly, or is there going to be hell to pay? Either of those is possible. Solids are just about out. There they go. It's staging. They are dropping very gently. That's... I'll take it. I need, like, all of the parachutes. It did not stage those, so I'm going to stage those manually. Okay. Now, those are not recoverable. Or supposedly not recoverable. Those supposedly have enough fuel to be recovered by the staging recovery, according to the other viewer from the other night. So we will see if I can move out of range enough before they despawn and could be recovered, because they won't be recovered if they don't despawn. The solids had 12 parachutes each on them to recover them, and that's all about recovering stages. It's all about trying to get my staging back so I can recover money. Because this is a $500,000 launch, which is a quarter of my entire funding. So I have to recover as much as I can. Looks like those are still fading into the distance. That is a nice fireball behind that thing. Just trying to get some screenshots. I'm trying to get some screenshots for each of my episodes. I don't always get a good one. And now that I've got screenshots going on every episode, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for, like, an overlay text or something like that for a splash screen. I have not figured that out yet, because I don't exactly have much in the way of graphics design skills. But we will see. So we are going, and I still see these things flying away, and they're just at 20, so they're probably going to start disappearing soon. I don't actually know what we're doing 7 days next. Blade, do you have any idea? I don't think we made a decision on what we're doing tomorrow night. I don't think it was discussed, but I would be fine with tomorrow. Oh, that's pretty. It's hard to use the camera that way. Alright, so now it's on coast mode. And one problem being, I don't think I have RCS enabled. It's RCS. Let's see if RCS is enough to move it the direction it needs to go. RCS apparently is enough to move it the direction it needs to go. Alright, so recovery messages. No. So, the ones that I left fuel on, I did not leave enough fuel. Attempted propulsive landing, but could not reduce velocity enough for safe touchdown. Good to know. Okay, so it did work to a point, but not enough. Which is sad, because that was 50 grand each, or 45 grand each. We did recover the 15 grand each of the solids, though. Alright, so we know that this thing can launch. And I did not add my tourists. So I am going to revert now that that launch test has been successful. Because I was doing this because it wasn't launching properly last time I tried. So this was a test purely. So now we know that's functional. Now I can add potentially some parachutes to the big ones and see if I can recover those. It's going to be a guess, though. So the fuel that's in there was enough to reduce it to 35 meters per second. I need to move it down below 12. And the stage recovery, this cannot calculate it properly. So this thing doesn't know how to calculate the propulsive landing. I could do more fuel. However, the fuel that I added is clipped inside of these tanks, and I don't think I can actually reach it anymore. So those are what they are. So I'm going to have to do it with parachutes. I mean, I could just strap on another tank and clip it inside, I suppose. But, yeah. Parachutes. What do I have for parachutes? I did it once because I mostly didn't believe the guy, because the stage recovery screen didn't recognize that the fuel was going to work for the propulsive landing. So I didn't believe him, so I thought I'll add some fuel in to clip it in. But now knowing that it worked, I wish I hadn't clipped it in, because I would rather try to figure out how to do it the right way. Something here. That was weird. It was saying I was pointing at the couple module the whole time. But not anymore. Okay. So I could try to add some balloons to slow them down as well. No, I can't, because these are 3.75 and I only have the 2.5 balloons. Well then, be that way. Do I have any other parachute options? I have these, but these are the vanilla parachutes, and they are not as good as the real chutes after having done some testing on them. So, the problem with the real chutes is that I can't make them bigger, and I can't make them more effective. These parachutes I can make bigger, but their effectiveness does not increase. So it's pointless. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a crap load of parachutes. I didn't want to have to do that, but 'tis what it is. Let's see what stage recovery says about that. Oh, right. It still doesn't know how to deal with that. Let's see if we can just reroute to the cupola. There we go. Okay. So these... These. Okay, so that's down to 13 meters per second. Okay. Well, if it does increase the effectiveness, it doesn't show that for stage recovery. Because I did a test where I added more parachutes, or I added bigger parachutes, and the stage recovery percentage was, or the speeds and percentages was exactly the same, regardless of the size of the parachutes. So that was my test. I didn't actually launch the damn thing to see if it worked. Alright, so those are now at 22.6%. Okay. So many parachutes. Recalculate. 9.3. Okay. Now here's the question. I don't know for sure if this number is taking into account the progressive, or the fuel braking, whatever the hell that's called. If it's taking in the fuel braking, then it's still not enough. If it's not taking into account, then this is probably going to be enough. I don't know. Could test it. Only one way to find out, honestly. The other option is more parachutes. And that's down to 8.1. So we're now getting to diminishing returns on those parachutes, which is unfortunate. So let's do that blade. Let's add one of the squads and recalculate. So 7.9. Increase the size one step. And it went up to 8.0. So the parachute, to me, is only weighing more and not being more effective. Otherwise, the weight would have gone down instead of up. Or the final speed would have gone down instead of up. So, to me, that is not an effective parachute change. Actually, I'm curious if it gets bigger. So we add that again. Recalculate. It's back down to 7.9. And then we increase it 2 steps to ridiculous proportions. 8.2 meters per second. So this parachute is only getting bigger and heavier and not more effective. Awesome. And then we recalculate down to 8.1. So without it, I mean, adding it is still more effective, but making it bigger is not more effective. .2. More of them smaller. Now, there's an idea. Alright. That makes me want to test. So, add 1. Recalculate. 7.1. Make it smaller by half. Hold on. It changed the percentage recovery chance. 96.34% chance to recover. Parachute smaller. 96.41% chance. So it actually did increase the chance of recovery by a very slight margin. So if we make it even smaller, 96.43% chance. So it actually did get a better chance of recovery by making it smaller. But I think that's only because of weight. It's not, you know, providing better better braking power. It's just providing less weight that everything else has to fix. So I don't think it's helping at all, honestly. I am not going to fiddle with it anymore. I'm going to keep 7.2% chance, or 7.2 meters per second at an 85% chance to recover. If the fuel braking helps, then we're golden. We've recovered them. If the fuel braking doesn't help, we still have a 95% chance to recover. Pretty damn close. Welcome, Kingdom. What were you streaming, Kingdom? Okay. Now comes the staging of them. I really don't want to figure out the staging on those because all of these groups of 4, I will have to break up one at a damn time. So what I think I will do is stage them all on the first release. By that point, we should be going too fast and too high in the atmosphere for them to actually release. They will arm but not launch until the speed drops, so it should be fine. In fact, I'm going to do it easier. I'm going to do this, move that here, move this here, and then move these down to here. Okay, so now we're releasing these and then this. And all of those will arm at the same time. Should be good. Should be good. Hopefully. That's all I got, is hopefully. Now we're going to add our crew. And who are the lucky souls going to the Mun? I should remember these. And actually, I'm just going to guess. Kerbal, Lodrin, and Sufrad, I think it was. Mun with 3 tourists. Kerbal, Lodrin, and Sufrad. Yes, I do remember. Hooray. Alright, so you go to the command pod, the Mark 1-2 command pod. And then you go to the Mark 1 command pod. Good. Okay. Save. And launch. Okay. Testing all of the things. YouTube is way far behind again. God damn it, supplies. Did I do supplies? I don't remember if I did supplies. I think I've got supplies. I think I put supplies in the I think I've got supplies in the space station thing. So that will get them up to the Mun, and then they should have enough supplies 15 days to get back from the Mun. Staging, you just saw me go over, so shush. RCS is done, antenna is done. Supplies, now you've got me questioning. No passengers. Okay, so I need to check for supplies, just to make sure that supplies got did. That's monopropellant. Hold on, I need to move the camera a little bit. That is a supply bag. So yes, I did remember supplies. Hooray! And I remember I alternated monoprop and supply bag, so there's 4 of each. Supplies! Okay, enough of that. Now, staging. And of course, the staging went to shit again. That's frustrating right there. I don't know why it does that. So I'm going to have to fix my staging out here as well. Okay, so all of these parachutes are the solids. Yes, all of these are the solids, which need to go at the same time as us releasing the solids. Okay. This, I don't know why this happens either. They're split in two. So this is one. And then the other one is up here. Okay. So all of our engines. And then this is all the solids. And then this is releasing, just looking at it again, this is releasing the first of the asparagus with... Now here's an interesting thing. It actually staged... Weird. So this is how I would want it to auto-stage. It actually auto-staged half of the parachutes along with the appropriate side. So this is actually good. I don't know what's causing it. And then this is the other half along with the other separation. So this is perfect. I don't know why it added these into the mix, but it did them mirrored alternates the same way. So something janked up there, but it janked up in a good way. And then we need to check this. Last time I did my dishes, oh god, I did half of my dishes like a week ago. But I live alone, so I've got dishes for like 12 people, so I don't need to do it very often. So I need that, and then that needs to go up here. And this needs to come down here. Okay. That's not supposed to be like that at all. New stage for this thing. Okay. Okay. Staging is done. Staging is as done as I care to be. So I'm going to SAS, launch up. Kerbal. As we're launching straight. And then I will turn on autopilot. Oh, no. See, now we're going crazy. It can't go straight anymore. So, Blade, you were witness to the only successful launch so far. Staging all of the things. Oh, that ain't going well. That ain't going well at all. I know what the difference is, though. I know what the difference is, and I think I don't know how to fix that. The difference is Jebediah the pilot is riding in the upside down command pod that's at the top. And I think I need to have Jebediah riding in the cupola that's facing up for everything to work right. Because it's trying to control from Jeb's upside down perspective. And the only time that it flew properly is when I didn't move Jeb from his auto-assigned seat. So, yay? It's having a really hard time justifying all of these explosions. That slideshow, though. Oh, they dead. Oh, they very dead. Kerboom! And then parachutes everywhere. It went so well. Everything's still exploding. Oh dear. And check that. Down there, that is a giant pile of parachutes. Parachutes, parachutes, parachutes. Everywhere parachutes. We have one of the spare fuel tanks. We have a bajillion parachutes. We have one nose cone and drone. We have one rocket. Ahem. We have one rocket booster. Over here, let's see if I can switch to that. We have another booster, or another engine. Do we have anything else in the sky? No, nothing else in the sky. So that is the remains of that, is just like 50 bajillion parachutes, 2 engines, and a nose cone. Effective. Effective. Revert to launch. Oh wait, I can't revert to launch. I have to revert to vehicle assembly because I need to move around the Kerbals. Well, damn. Unless... Do you know if it controls differently if I just say control from here? Like if I pick one of the drones? Does that work? Fuck it. We'll find out. Okay. No passengers. I need to look up. Look up. Can I do control from here? Like, does that work enough to make this launch work? So T, check all of my goddamn staging again. Wait. Where's the engine? Solids. Liquids. Where's my other liquid? Normally it's right here. How did it get up here this time? The staging is all over the damn place. What's going on? Okay, then I need to grab these. And these. Did you like it? Because I have a hard time liking red. Like, I have a really hard time with red. Okay. Well, I mean, sucks that you didn't like it, but at the same time, I can understand completely. Yeah, that's why I've always never liked red. I haven't had a good red yet. And that could just be on me, or on the people who have offered, not offering good wine. Entirely possible. But I'm pretty sure red's just inherently bitter, and I don't think I would like that. Okay. See, I haven't really heard of any sugary reds. I've heard of sugary rosés, which are mixes of reds and whites, and the sugariness tends to come from the white. But reds tend to be pretty dry, whereas whites can tend to be dry or sweet. And I do tend towards the sweeter wines. So if there was a good sweet red, I would love to try it. So these two need to be much further down. This needs to be elsewhere. So that's weird. My staging went even weirder than before. But that's okay. I will survive. Okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I've got TSAS on. And go! It appears to be working. So controlling from that drone is enough to make it go straight. Whereas before it was attempting to control from the upside down pod. So we're good now. I've got it figured out. Now we can engage the autopilot and go to orbit. Hooray! Okay. I was just looking at things. So we need to keep an eye out for our missions. I thought you just said you didn't like it. Okay. Everything appears to be good so far. I'm having a hard time trusting it, but it appears to be good so far. And I know once we get up into or above the atmosphere, it's going to try to stop burning and then wait until it gets to apoapsis to circularize, and at that point I have to remember to turn on RCS. So just trying to say that out loud so I can remind myself. next stage coming up soon is the release of the solids. Okay. Released. Minus explosions. Good thing. And then the liquids are gone, so we can release those. Also minus explosions. Hooray. That was an explosion. Fuck you! Okay, fine. I guess I'm not getting that one back. Looks like one of them blew. The other one is still intact, so... I guess I'm only losing half of it. Oh well. I liked the idea of Terratech, but after watching gameplay of it, I wasn't all that interested. Maybe it's gotten better since I last saw it, but I don't know. It didn't seem like it had that much to it. So it looks like we have quite a lot of burn left, so that's going to be a while. All of that is parachutes. Like, there's like 50 items sitting there. I'm gonna test out the camera. Orbital makes it go that way. Chase cam. Let's see what chase cam does. Nothing remarkable. Yeah, Subnautica is a big deal because it finally launched to full release, which, quite frankly, you don't see too often from games that tend to be in greenlight forever. So it's nice to see one that gets released. Plus, it has had some pretty seriously high-profile YouTubers playing it. So now that it's finally on release, I know Jacksepticeye is playing it again. He's one of the highest-profile YouTubers out there, so that's getting a lot of more visibility to it. But just the fact that it's released full version is absolutely wonderful. I've had it forever. I just haven't actually played it. So now that it's fully released, I may end up playing it as well, because I've been wanting to play it for quite some time. Alright, we're getting close to the point where it wants me to RCS. Right about now, actually. So RCS is on, which will hopefully counteract that ridiculous back-end spin that it does. Meme reviews? Oh. Who the hell is that? That sounds like a horrible thing I don't want anything to do with. I'm a little bit, you know, disheartened, I guess, by some of the most popular YouTubers and streamers being, like, I don't know, jokes, basically. they're just like the silly lols types, and that's not my style, but I feel like that's the only way that's going to get any publicity. Not that I'm like out for publicity, but it feels like I'm not going to have a chance to do anything remarkable without being a lol tuber, as I probably would call them. So I don't know. I'm going to have fun doing this, but I'm not going to be the silly jokester that a lot of people are expecting of someone. And I feel like that's going to... I mean, it's going to keep away a certain type of person that I probably don't want anything to do with, but still. But yeah, PewDiePie, I don't know. He used to be a thing. He broke pretty significantly. Like, inside he broke. I don't know exactly when it happened, but it was very shortly before his controversy. And then at that point, he immediately went drastically downhill. So I don't know if that was him breaking before the controversy and then that was just the new him, or if the controversy itself was enough to break him. It baffles me, but I don't know. I think part of it is that he fell into the same trap that others I've seen fall into, and I know like Markiplier's doing it, where you're just expected to do a certain type of thing, and if you deviate from that at all, you either lose all of your subs or you get the hate mail from people who expect and demand you to be a certain way. And I know Mark is trying really hard to, you know, do his own thing and have fun with it. So for like 3 months he did no gaming videos whatsoever, and he just did his own thing, his own silly videos, you know, videos showing his travel exploits or whatever. And you know, I think he was trying not to fall into the trap. But I don't know. It's hard to say for sure, but you can see the change in mentality. And I know PewDiePie definitely ran into that change in mentality, and he hasn't left yet. Because he used to be an amusing gaming YouTuber. But not anymore. So we're going to break those apart. Hopefully not blow stuff up. Yay. So what the hell are we doing? We are circularizing. Okay, good. It has failed miserably to keep the apoapsis at 100. But supposedly it has a plan for circularizing. Supposedly. All I see is that apoapsis going up. I don't see circularizing happening. It's sort of happening. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Huh. I also don't know why it's decided that it's going to be burning straight down at the ground. So how about we disengage that autopilot? Burn this way. Can we get that periapsis out in time? Although at this point I don't think it's worth salvaging, because we've wasted so much delta V with this apparently really screwed up maneuver that I don't think it's possible to salvage it. but I could certainly try. Okay, so our apple's coming back down, and our periapsis is very slowly rising up. I don't think it's going up enough. Nope. That looks like a nope to me. I mean, the only way we're going to make it out of this is if we stop burning and survive the re-entry. Or not the re-entry, but the whatever the hell's happening here. If we can survive this till we make it to the apoapsis. Let's delete that. Can we warp to here? The short answer looks to be yes. We can survive. Hooray! Okay, so turn off RCS. I don't think I've got enough to make it to the Mun and back, considering how balls up that went. But I wonder. I'm just curious if the maneuver planner can fix this at all. Home and transfer target, create the node. Right about there, it says we can burn to the Mun. Okay. Okay. I mean, supposedly that can do it. Supposedly. Every time I touch this maneuver node, it freaks out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. And then create the node again. Okay. So, screw it. Let's execute it and see if it works. I seriously doubt this is any good, and I have no idea why that maneuver went so balls up. It was a perfectly fine maneuver until it decided it wasn't going to burn hard enough at apoapsis. It could be that MechJeb doesn't know how to calculate for asparagus staging, because I know it didn't know how to auto stage drop the asparagus. So it's possible that all of its calculations were based on all 5 engines going at once, and then it lost 2 of them, and then it lost 2 more of them, and it just didn't know how to calculate for that. If that's the case, I may have to manually, orbit. I should be able to do the ascent part of it, but I might have to manually do the circularization. But that should be fine. I mean, it shouldn't be that big of a problem. Okay, we have these. Oh, hey! We actually recovered those stages. Or most of those stages. It's a 50% recovery, though, so it's not great. But still, it's better than nothing. We recovered some of the... Oh, all of those parachutes, all 18 of them, individually recovered. Because they parachuted themselves down. That one did not recover because that was part of the destroyed one. Parachutes, solids. This was a solid that didn't make it. Okay. Good to know. Are we not executing? I don't think we're executing. Why are we not executing? Remove all nodes. Create node again. Okay. Execute. Interesting. I don't know why that didn't execute. Now it's executing properly. Okay. Good, good. Good. Okay. So that was that stage going. And I think I might have to do this manually, but that'll be fine. Will be fine-ish. I should be able to do a course correction here. fine. I can fix the rest of that later, I think. Hello, Prince. How are you doing? I'm doing wonderful this fine evening. Alright, so let's fast forward a little bit to get to the next phase of this. Burn ever so slightly. That will do. Alright, so now we delete that. And I think we have to do two different things here now. And I don't know for sure how much different things I have available left in this ship. I need to release this, and these guys will take a trip back home. And then I need to circularize this. And both of those things need to happen in pretty quick order. So let me test out a few things here with maneuver nodes. If I take this, and let's see. So that's going to be my recircularization, which doesn't take much effort. What if I do this? Okay. So this ship, the return home ship, is going to have to burn prograde for about 200 meters per second. I know the nodes will be different after I separate. I just needed to get an idea of which ship is going which direction. So the crude module is going to have to burn prograde for some amount of time, whereas the station is going to have to burn retrograde to circularize at the MUN. So yes, I'm going to have to replan those nodes, but this gives me an idea of which ones have to go which direction. Because I didn't know that, because I hadn't been a part of that plan. This was being planned by Mercury. And I'm trying to pick up on his plan without him being here to direct me on said plan. So I think I got it. And in fact, if I decouple them now, I think it might be easier to plan. Or not decouple them now, but decouple them once I'm in the moon's sphere of influence. So I think before I do anything, I'm F5ing. F5ing. There we go. Warp ahead to the MUN sphere of influence. Okay. So now I should be safe to decouple. That is separated. Yes, good. Just making sure that that got separated. Alright. So this ship is drone controlled. And connected to the drones in orbit, which is good. So which one am I currently controlling? I am currently controlling the big ship Lollipop. This one is going to have to node here. Retro. To get into an orbit. And I don't care what the orbit is at the moment. I just need to get into an orbit, and then I can correct it later. This can go away, and that can go away. Actually, give me my Delta V stats. So this ship has 421 Delta V left, which is more than enough to correct an orbit and circularize and all that fun stuff. Perfect. The next ship, which I can go over here, this one needs to burn prograde until the periapsis is right. So burn prograde. So considering I fucked up royally with the orbit, the initial orbit out of Kerbal, this is going well. I don't know what to make of that information. And this can go there. Perfect. And this has 550 Delta V, so also more than enough. Because I only need 183, 184, whatever. The amount of Delta V that is required is rising up. I think that's as we get closer to the Mun. But everything appears to be in order. So I'm going to point prograde that was weird. Hold up. They're both controlling at the same time? Giga what? That's not supposed to happen. I hope that doesn't cause problems. They're not connected anymore. Control from here. That button. Okay. That button. That button. And control from here. Okay. So you need to point retro. And now they're technically separated. Okay. Good. Good, good. That was really weird. I don't know why they were both being controlled at the same time. But they are no longer being controlled at the same time. So that's fine. Alright. I'm going to need to fast forward a little bit to here. You are right, I probably should test that. That button. Okay, so now point prograde. No! This command pod is still in control of this ship. Does it go if I hit the burn button? I want to wait for this thing to point prograde. And then I'm going to hit the burn button and see if they both burn at the same time. Because if they both burn at the same time, that's going to be a problem. This one doesn't have its engine activated yet. So let's dethrottle that. Burn. No. So this one's burning separately. They're both pointing when I use the SAS. But the burn is not happening. So that's a bonus. Because then I can get this one out of the way a bit. Weird. Okay. I wonder... Can I do any sort of burn from here that will correct me back? Burn pro. Okay. So if I burn prograde now, it actually gets me there with less delta V. And might get me out of the way of the other ship. So hopefully that will release its control. Worth trying. We are pointing prograde right now. Where's the other ship? Where are you, other ship? There's the other ship. Okay. No, that's the ring. Ooh, where's my other ship? It's over there. Hold on. Hold on. Is that other ship burning? Hold on. I need to find that and switch to it. It had better not be burning. Come on. Load faster so I can find out my fate. We are not burning. Avery, less wine, type quieter. Alright, so we're good. Okay. So all appears to be well. And now this one is catching up like hell. The fuck is going on? Off. This is weird. Whenever I switch to one, the other one goes very fast forward. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's doing it very weirdly. Okay, well, this is going to be an interesting challenge. Let me fast forward just a little bit to my burn here. And hopefully I can burn to slingshot. Just to make sure I'm in the pilot, or I'm in the ship that has all the dudes in it. I am getting ready to burn right about now. Okay, so this ship is now on an exit crash course to the planet's atmosphere where they can go be happy and survive. That's good. Now if I switch to this, which is going way fast, switch to, now I should be able to retro burn this one. That's weird, though. It was weird that whichever one I switched to, the other one was going faster. I don't know how to reconcile that in my brain. But either way... Okay, so now... if you're talking about life as in the game of life, as in the board game, it's not a stupid game. It's just, you know, a little bit on the low end. Okay, so now we can recorrect this maneuver. And I'm just going to do a janky orbit for now that I can correct. So I should be able to fast forward this, and I need to keep an eye on the other ship. But the other ship's trajectory does appear to be going that direction. All appears to be well. It's not stupid, it's just a little cruel sometimes. Alright, we're pointing at the maneuver. And then we are burning. Or, you know, I can almost circularize this as it is. Alright. That will be fine. It does not appear to be on any crash course. Just checking to make sure. Does not appear to be on any crash course with any known satellite. Actually, the closest that we've got is this satellite, which does not appear to cross direct paths at all. So I think we're good there. I would go with Mazda. Mazda Miata Kangaroo. I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's all I got for you. Alright. So this station is in a stable orbit. Does the mission say so? It is checked. That mission is done. Hooray! So now I can finish correcting this later. Good. Alright, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to switch back to these guys. And hopefully guide them back to survival. Eventually. Okay, now, Are we still on a trajectory to come back alive? We appear to be, yes. It's constantly changing. In fact, my Kerbal periapsis is constantly going up. Which confounds me a little bit. But I should be able to correct that on the way back down. Okay. So let us fast forward a little. Periapsis is no longer changing, so apparently the Mun was interfering a little bit. Alright, so now we're on our way back down. And let me check my staging. That's going to drop that. Which I have plenty of liquid fuel to counterburn. So, I should just need to arm this once we get near the atmosphere. And then I can counterburn off a lot of this power that we've got coming in like a rocket. Because we're on a rocket. Don't worry about it. I'm going to fast forward into the atmosphere. Point retro. Arm this bugger. And now, we ride the wave. I should be able to just counterburn, though, to take off some of that pressure. Oh, that's pretty, though. That's really pretty. And there goes the rest of that fuel. Okay. Sky donut. Alright, so now I can drop that stage. Although I shouldn't need to drop this stage. According to the stage recovery, I could potentially recover this stage. But I'm not sure I want to risk it. Because I've got my heat shield here. Too much wine, man. Too much wine. I will leave it on for now. So we're going to come in. Hot. Very hot. But the Sky Donut is... Oh shit. The Sky Donut's gone. That's not good. Uh-oh. Sky Donut's gone. Also, what is this? Oh, that's the unit I have to recover. Okay. Okay, so we have a problem. Sky Donut's gone. I don't know if I know how to fix this. Because Sky Donut's gone. So all we have left is a 65,000 Kerbal periapsis. Which is ultimately going to result in very, very slow increments of bringing down the apoapsis as we air brake. Which is going to require multiple revolutions. Uh-oh. Let's go around again. Alrighty, bye, Prince. Okay, so this is bringing down our apoapsis by I don't know, maybe a couple thousand every time we pass? I literally don't know what that entails, Penguin. I've never done an EVA landing before. Oh, you mean push with the EVA fuel. It's a possibility, but I also do have limited EVA fuel. That is a thing also in this pack. So there is no infinite EVA brace for impact kind of situation. So, yeah. Alright, how much are we actually losing? I think we're losing about 10, 15, maybe 20,000 apoapsis every pass through. That ain't going to be pretty. What I should have done, and I wonder if I should reload, is I should have set my periapsis a lot lower so that I came in a lot steeper, which would have given the Sky Donut enough time to break me. Because as it stands, I only set it to 60,000 periapsis, which means I only skimmed the surface, which left the Sky Donut with, like, a minute to slow me down. So I'm wondering if I need to reload that and try that again and change my periapsis down a lot. Let's see, where are we at for living space? We've got 13 days left of food for these guys. According to this estimation here, it's 21 days to get home. I don't know if that's estimation based on air braking that it thinks it knows about, or I don't know. So I'm going to fast forward one more time. Oops, I need to unfast forward, then re-fast forward. So 967, that's where we started. 967.5. And I'm going to see how much more dropping as we go through the atmosphere here. Well, Avery, don't drink before school and you'll be fine. Alright, so we are now at 954. So we dropped 13,000 meters. That's going to take a lot of passes. Just checking here. 954 divided by 13,000. That's going to take 73 revolutions, assuming a constant rate of decay. Yikes. Yikes. Dude, not even Russians should drink a liter of vodka at once. That's just dumb. Hold up, what's going on here? Why are we not retroing? We are not retroing because we have run out of electric charge. So I really need to reload. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to control this re-entry at all. So that's unfortunate. I'm going to reload, though. I was testing to see if it were possible to recover this as it is without reloading, but it ain't possible. Which is funny, Kingdom, because that's the exact opposite of the effect that drinking actually has on you. Drinking only makes you feel like you're warming up, but it actually lowers lowers the thickness of your blood, so it can't carry as much heat, and thus you end up not getting heat where it needs to go. I think that was the reasoning behind it. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember that alcohol thins your blood and makes you actually cool down faster. Okay, where were we at with this? We were at fast forwarding to the Mun. I think is the answer to that. Because we're still attached, aren't we? Yes, we're still attached. So we're at fast forward to the Mun. Greetings, demon! Alright, so we're going to F5 here, so we don't have to fast forward again. Ah, that was the reasoning I remembered. I remembered it was something that made it bad for you in the cold in the long run. I just didn't remember the answer to that. Alright, so now we decouple. And we control from here. Alright. And then we go over here. And we control from here. And then we point prograde. This thing is still pointing prograde with me, but that's fine. I'm going to F5. Alright, so if I send this down to 35, that should be enough, I think. Oh, I can just see the Slav dance in my head. Okay, so my staging got jacked up, which is to be expected because this whole contraption didn't know how to stage properly before. That's going to go here. That's going to go to there. This is not going to decouple immediately. Thank you very much. Okay, so drop throttle, stage, good. Okay. I have a 1080 Ti. Why would I say Adidas? There's no reason to say Adidas. That's just silly. That's a crazy thing to ask for. Alright, how close are we to this other thing still? We're right there. Okay, so we haven't separated. The 1080 Ti is perfectly fine. It works fine on KSP, even with all of the graphics mods. The biggest problem with KSP is that with all of the mods in place, the CPU is the bottleneck. And it doesn't matter how fast your CPU is. Combination of CPU and RAM, and the fact that Unity's garbage collection is garbage, the game is still going to run pretty badly with all of the mods. Without the mods, it's perfect. 100% perfect. but the mods plus Unity's garbage collection makes it run kind of badly. But it's only badly occasionally when Unity's garbage collection kicks in. And whichever mod is causing my physics to go to hell and it doesn't run properly on like rocket crashes. But that's, again, a CPU bottleneck more than a graphics card issue. So in short, there is no easy answer to a good running Kerbal game. Just trying to get back into... Okay. A little bit harder than I wanted to, but it'll be fine. I do run a lot of mods, like 100% too many mods. Not even gonna argue on that. But now that I've got all the mods in there, I'm having a hard time deciding how to slim it down. There's a lot of parts mods that are probably redundant. In fact, I just recently removed Tundra Expedition, because Tundra's primary purpose was to recreate SpaceX, and I already had another mod that did that, so I didn't really need Tundra. In fact, that was one of my first mods that I removed, was another one that attempted to... What just blew up? The hell just blew up? Literally, what the hell just blew up? This appears to be intact. It's got all the RCS, it's got all the solars, it's got all of the everything. So what the hell just blew up? Wait a tick. I think what just blew up actually was the little separation ring, because I don't see that in space anymore. So I think I must have just run into it or something. See, KW Rocketry is one of the first ones I removed as excessive. It replicated everything else other mods that I had were already doing, and I liked the other mods better. I want to remove most of Blue Dog, because most of Blue Dog is redundant. Because it's like 7 different size tiers of fuel tanks, just with different skins on them, which is made redundant by having tweak scale where I can resize them all anyway. And same with the engines. But Blue Dog still offers a bunch of other stuff that I like a variety of probe cores, science modules, that kind of stuff. So I'm hesitant to remove Blue Dog entirely. KSP Interstellar, I had a hard time with that, but I think what I'm going to do with that one is I have another playthrough planned eventually, probably not immediately after this playthrough, but I will probably end up playing through again with Interstellar and a bunch of other planet mods to add more planets, and then maybe add a smaller selection of mods for the second run through. Hey, Banner Smile, you knew I was on Twitch. You befriended me on Twitch a while ago. You knew I was here. Don't play it off like you didn't know. Actually, so I've got a collection of like 6 planet mods that add like 20 plus new planets, and they all ran together perfectly. The only thing they didn't do was run smoothly. So I still have to test those out to see if I can get the performance to run better. But like, looking at the solar system was a ringed mess. because there were so many additional planets that were added that it was almost impossible to distinguish one orbit trail from the others because there were so many of them. But I still want to play with that to have fun with it. So I'm trying to figure out what my mod list for that will be, using this pack kind of as a guide to figure that out. So this is supposedly good. I may even need to burn prograde just a hair more. But I can figure that out, I think, as I get closer. So that'll be fine. Yeah, that's the jankiness that was happening. I think something on here blew up, honestly. Because the two different ships were going at different speeds again. But I don't see anything on here that's destroyed enough for me to care. I don't recognize anything missing. I'm sure I will kick myself for that later, but for right now, I don't see anything. So I'm going to point us retrograde on this ship. Not that it matters at the moment. Nope, all the solar panels are there. I only installed these two, and on the other side, those two. Docking port is at the bottom here. Fairly certain that was the only docking port I had. Fairly certain. I've got my antenna right here. I've got all of my storage containers here. All of my RCS are still installed. My Cupola module, these little viewing port modules. Everything appears to be here. So I'm not gonna worry myself over it. It wasn't a port. It was it's a hatch basically to go in and out, because this science port doesn't seem to have a hatch on it. So I installed a separate hatch right here. I'm pretty sure this thing doesn't have a hatch on it. But that's fine. Okay, back to the map view so I can plan my re-entry, or my correction burn here. Add maneuver. That's fine. And then we fast forward. Alright, about ready for retro burn here. And that'll be fine. I'll fix the rest of that later. I just want to check to make sure that that quest gets completed again. Maintain stability for 10 seconds, and we're green. Perfect. Okay, so that is good. Now we're going to switch back to the people ship and get them surviving their trip home. I do have a hard time with my mission versus quest naming. Did not need to know that, Avery. I promise you, I did not need to know that. Okay, so we are at 39. I feel like I almost need to correct that a little bit more, but I don't know how for sure. So I'm going to add maneuver here and just see if I can get that in a little bit. That'll be good. It does sound like Guitar Hero music, for sure. Okay, that'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm just going to burn ever so slightly. There, okay. So now our periapsis is down to 30. And hopefully that will be enough to survive us. So I think the only way to know for sure is to fast forward and pray. And we're already burning up because we're going so fast. Awesome. That means it's time to retroburn. I think that was Guitar Hero 2, but I'm not positive because I have not exactly been following Guitar Hero at all. I just know that the Dragon Force through the fire and flames, I think it is, like their most popular song ever. This is the balut. The balut. Yeah, that Dragon Force was pretty dang hard. Alright, so the balut has saved us on re-entry, and we're good. Perfect. Now we're not gonna die. Alright, so I'm going to restage this to here and get those ready to go, I think. Awesome. Okay. So now, these guys are all going to live. I think. Hopefully. We'll see. We're coming down in pitch blackness. Pretty sure we're supposed to have a planet down there, but I can't see it. Where are we? We are absolutely in pitch blackness. Alright then. Alright, so I can move that window. I have seen people play that song. on like stupid difficulties with like stupid handicaps. Like I don't know how people do that. I can barely click a single mouse button slowly, accurately. Alright, so we are coming down. We're at just about 1,000 meters. Parachutes are about to kick in soon here. Hopefully. Come on, parachutes. There we go. Ah, that's why I can't see anything, because we're over the ocean, and there's nothing to see until you get close enough. That's why. Parents are weird. You don't need to make logic out of what their rules are. I had a friend way back in high school. His parents were super religious. They wouldn't let him do a lot of things because of religious reasons. But he was allowed to play Magic the Gathering despite the fact that it had demons in it because the comic book, or the comic store owner was able to convince the parents that it wasn't demonic. Alright, we are doing a crew report. No, we don't need to do a crew report. Perfect! Okay. Recover! Recover, I says. Can we not recover because we are going too fast? There we go. We were bobbing up and down too fast, so I couldn't recover because we technically had speed. So I had to wait until the bottom or the top of the bob where we were technically at 0. So now I can recover. Everyone's alive. It went well. Those balloons are amazing, by the way. Like, absolutely amazing. That balut took me from burning up in the atmosphere to going 150 meters per second at like 30 or 40,000 feet. Meters, whatever. It's called inline balut. And I can show it to you here. Inline balut. B-A-L-L-U-T-E. Alright, so we got 12 science from recovering a vessel doing a flyby of the Mun. Good. We've recovered all of our peoples. Jebediah got 2 XP for making that round trip. Anything that has an atmosphere, the balutes will work on, including Jewel and, I think, Eve, I don't remember because I haven't been to all the planets, so I don't know for sure, but whatever has an atmosphere, it will work on. It will work on to different degrees, because the balut is only as effective as the atmosphere is thick. So when you first start off at the edge of Kerbin's atmosphere, you only start losing like 1 meter per second. But the thicker you, or the deeper you go into the atmosphere, the thicker it is, and the greater it slows you down. So if it's a very thin atmosphere, it's not going to be nearly as effective, but it will still work and do stuff. I've only had one career playthrough besides this one, and it was purely vanilla, and I only ever got to the next planet out that I don't even recall the name of. It starts with a D. And I got to the moon Ike. And I only did a satellite around it. I never actually did any landings or anything like that. So no, I've never been to Jewel or any of the other planets at all, actually. So this playthrough, I hope to do a lot more. Duna! Yes, that's the one. So I plan to do a lot more in this playthrough. Okay, so we've got Flyby of the Mun with 3 tourists. Very nice. we have accomplishments, getting rewards for flying by the Mun. And we have the completion of the orbital station around the Mun for a grand total of 560,000 as a reward, basically. And I spent 500,000 to get there. So it wasn't exactly a profitable run, but I do have a saddle or a station around Mun. Right, that would be a problem, but the balut would definitely help, but it's only going to do so much. So if just touching the atmosphere is enough to make you blow up, then the balut's not going to have enough time to take effect. But if you can survive like 10-20 seconds in the atmosphere, the balut probably will save your life, in all honesty, because it's heat resistant. Because it's essentially a heat shield, or it's not a heat shield, but it heat shields itself, and then it slows you down so that you're not taking as much heat as you go through the atmosphere. So overall, it's very effective. It's basically meant to replace a drogue chute and half replace heat shields. Okay. Now what? I'm going to check missions. We have a basic tourist mission to accomplish, along with this one. So that's 6 more tourists that can go up in my pre-built 6 tourist flyby. So that would be easy and quick to do. I've got Minmus orbital station that needs to get done. I've got a Minmus satellite requirement. And I've also got recovering this little bugger. I kind of want to build a recovery ship, honestly, because I don't know how to plan that yet. So I think I want to figure out how to plan that. Zero! So this ship will be something that can go up into space, collect a thing, and bring it back down safely. So I already know one of the parts I need to use. I mean, besides the balut, that's a given. But one of the parts I need to use is an inflatable heat shield that expands out. I know I have it, I just don't remember where it is. Also, I probably should have gone and checked out what that ship is that I'm recovering, to give me an idea of how big my ship has to be. The claw is definitely in consideration, for sure. So I need to immediately exit out of here. I hate reloading, because that just causes the game to run even slower each time I load somewhere, but oh well, it has to get done. Yeah, I assumed it was in the thermal tab, and that's where I was going to go check. But I also know I have a modded one, because I don't think I have the I don't think I have the vanilla games inflatable one yet. I think I just have access to a modded one. And I'm not positive if the modded one is in the same place, but it should be. Okay, so the thing I need to check is this. This is Unit Z33K4G, or ZCAG? Let's call him ZCAG. So I need to fly this. Oh, I can't fly this thing. I have no way to know how big this is, because I can't go fly it to view it. Awesome. So I'm going to have to go up blind. On my headset, it's a little Kraken. He's the Kraken. Alright, so I wish I knew what this was and how big it was. But I don't have a way to find out other than go there and meet up with it and see. So one thing I could do is... Let's see. I could send up my tourist mission and use that as a reconnaissance mission as well, to meet up with this thing and see what it is so that I can plan. And I think I might have to do that, actually. So let's do that. We'll do a tourist mission and a reconnaissance mission all in one. We'll get stuff done. I'm okay with getting stuff done. Okay, so I should be able to go into my launch pad and immediately load up Space Bus 3. Because I'm pretty sure Space Bus 3 still has the 6 seats available, which it does. And I should be able to load up all 6 of my tourists. And Jeb can remain the pilot. You know what? Valentina can pilot. She hasn't. She should be my backup pilot because she was good to me in the last playthrough because I killed Jeb. Unrelated to anything, she was very good to me. The bowling thing. I know you mentioned that before, but tell me again about that because I don't quite recall what that was. Alright, so we will launch this. Valentina's my chick. After I killed Jeb right early on, Valentina rode me through the entire rest of the game. She was a trooper. She landed on the Mun more than a couple times. She rode every misguided flight straight up and back down again. She was a trooper and she survived everything. Oh, interesting. That sounds weird. And that sounds like a very oddly Kerbal-y thing to do. I don't think I would ever want to do that, but you do you. Okay, so we are going to MechJeb for our ascent guidance. We're going to drop back down to 80 as our planned launch thingamabobber. And we are good. Our staging is jacked up again. Awesome. I don't think this is this jacked up staging. I think this is me jacking up the staging. So that needs to go up here. So that's the first. That's the decouple and the next stage and parachutes. And then decouple previous parachutes. And then balut and other parachutes. Okay. Good. Oh, that's amusing. I have not seen all of Scott Manley's videos. I've seen a scattering of them, because he has quite a few long series on Kerbal, so I have not seen a lot of the stuff he's done. Okay. I mean, I think we're good. So I'm just going to engage autopilot and hit that button. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to need some help. Because I think the rocket's just too powerful at the bottom stage to do this smoothly. Yeah, I only watch a little bit of Scott and Matt. I haven't seen any Marcus House or Dennis. I mostly go with whatever YouTube recommends at the moment, and YouTube has not recommended either of the other two. I like the camera wobble. It feels like there's more oomph to the rockets. I can understand that. I have a friend who he's very sensitive to motion in games. Any game that has he can't do first person at all. Like, it's not possible because he just gets really ill with the movements back and forth. And other games that have crazy camera motion, he's very sensitive to. So I'm usually pretty sensitive to that on his behalf. So if I see something kind of crazy, I kind of know what would trigger him. So I try to avoid those things, but I didn't think this camera wobble was a concern. But if it really makes you that dizzy, I can turn it off. Shouldn't be that big of a problem to turn it off. I just liked it. I thought it added to the effect of the powerfulness of the rocket. Okay, if you're okay with me leaving it, then I appreciate that. Okay, that's good. Then you do you on your game, and everyone's happy. Okay, so now we're waiting for the circularization, which it's attempting to do right now. Okay. And then once that's circularized, I have to set this as my target. No! What the fuck just happened? Oh, I know what just happened. Okay. So, stop? Stop. What the crap is with this thing? It's completely incapable of proper circularization all of a sudden. Like, this is ridiculous. It should not have done this. Okay, that's lame. What is my periapsis at? My periapsis is at 72. Okay. Welcome back, Avery. So I need to get to 75. I'm going to SAS and retrograde. No, the explosion, I remember what it was. It just startled me. This engine has a really long fairing around it. And whenever the stage breaks off, whenever the previous stage breaks off, that fairing always explodes. It doesn't ever clear it in time before it catches the brunt of the explosion. So it never causes any problems. It just startled me because I forgot about it. So we're burning retrograde, and we're going to bring this periapsis back down a little. Not a huge problem, but... actually, hold up. Nice. We're actually going to meet up with it soon enough here. I don't actually recall on that one. I don't recall if it's got its own power in it. Some of them do, some of them don't. And it's already gone, so I can't look at it to find out for sure. So we'll look at it next time. Okay. So I need to raise my... Yeah, I need to raise that a little bit. So where is my periapsis? There we are. That needs to raise up, so I need to point prograde. And I should be able to raise that up just a hair. Hey Nick, welcome. You missed me successfully putting my Mun station into Mun orbit, as well as my tourists making their round trip successfully. Hey Dalton, how are you? Welcome. I know, you missed the whole thing. Right now, what I'm doing is a tourist mission. I've got 6 tourists that just wanted to fly around the planet a little bit. And at the same time, I am attempting to meet up with this object because this is one I need to recover. So what I want to do is I want to meet up with it for reconnaissance purposes so I can see what it is, so I can plan how big my ship needs to be to recover it. But I missed my recovery window, and I don't know for sure how I'm going to fix that. So I think I need to do a maneuver planner and see if I can transfer a little bit. Oh sure, let's see if we can execute that node. So hopefully this doesn't mess up my mission. Now, you know what? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is complete my mission first. Because there's an hour timer that these guys wanted to be in orbit. So I want to make sure that that hour timer happens before I mess with the orbit at all. And these guys are already done. So I just need that first orbit. I think it just needs to be one more rotation. Or revolution, or whichever. And, yep, we're good. Okay. So now I need to figure out how to meet up with it. Right now, we're going to end up on opposite sides of the planet, so I don't know if I have an easy way to meet up with it. So let's see if this can fix it. Oh. No. No. That ain't the right answer at all. I wonder... I've got plenty of life support on them, so I can fiddle with it a little bit. I'm gonna try right here. I have not. But what I can do here is I can go around a few revolutions, and then I will meet up with it again. Because I was close to it before, but I chose to continue fast forwarding just to hope. So I think I can manually do this, honestly. But no, that's separation by 40,000 or 40 kilometers. Well, that's not great. Let's see. That's 4 kilometers. That's pretty good. So basically, if I keep waiting, I'll be fine. Is the moral of this story. So I will hold on to this maneuver. And actually, I need to check my electricity. Fine on electricity. So I'm going to go around a little. And our electricity is going down, so I think I need to start pointing at the sun a little bit. Ah, now we've got this problem. Dagnabbit. I didn't want this problem. I'm sorry if anyone has epilepsy. Try not to kill you. But I don't have any control over trying to kill you or not right now. Do you have any clue what might be causing it? Not a clue. Okay. Yeah, it's one of the mods. I think it might be Scatterer. It probably is Scatterer, honestly. But I just don't know which component of Scatterer it is. I suspect anyone with epilepsy is already not looking because they're convulsing on the floor. But it only happens when I'm in that view. So as long as I'm done pointing at the sun, so I'm good. So now I can fast forward a little bit. How are we on supplies? We're fine on supplies, okay. Okay, so we're just about to meet up with it. I already have Hangar Extender. That one I do have, because there were some mods that were that make very big ships, and that was a recommendation. If I point at target, if I point prograde to target, can I burn a little? I'm just fiddling with this so I can fix the other stuff later. That has absolutely 100% not fixed anything. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to return these guys. And I suspect whatever this is small. But let's see if we can fix it. I'm gonna let MechJeb do a thing and see if MechJeb can figure it out. Because we got more than enough fuel to fiddle with it. Generally speaking, I try to stick within confines of realistic ships. But there may come a time when I've got enough cash that I don't need to worry about that. What is this doing? It's constantly changing where the node is. I think it doesn't know how to meet up with the target, honestly. Like, I'm pretty sure it has no idea how to meet up with the target. Planned course correction may be extreme. No crap. It's got me burning at 20 million meters per second. Because it wants to just fire straight at the target right now. So, let's not do that one. Let's try match velocities with target. Yep, 20 million. Oh yeah. So we don't want that. An error occurred while creating the node because it literally does not know how to transfer to this target. Okay. Okay. So if I drop my periapsis down a hair, I might have a better chance of meeting up with it. So let's do that. I need to sass and retro. And then I need to very slight burn. Okay, not quite that slight. Okay. So, now... I need to get us in line with the sun and get us pointed back at the sun again. So, sorry. Flashing warning. Flashing warning. Beep, beep, flashing warning. Not nearly as bad as last, no. And if I line this up right about there, it looks like it's attempting to do some sort of atmospheric effect, but it doesn't do it right because it doesn't know where to place it. So it's almost guaranteed to be scatterer. I would hate to remove scatterer. But oh well. It only happens occasionally, and it's fixed on the next launch. But again, it's probably scatterer, so if you didn't want scatterer, which I wouldn't recommend if you don't have an Uber video card, by the way, so maybe skip that one. I would say it's probably safe to skip that one. Alright, so we're going to fast forward. Alright, so I apparently have fixed it so that my next revolution is going to be a direct meetup with it. Like right now is going to be a direct meetup with it. And I am okay with that, because I just need to see it. I don't need to do anything else with it, I just need to see it. So I need to point retrograde to target. Have I missed it entirely? I am not missing it entirely. I have a jacked up orbit. So I'm missing it entirely. That's fine. Okay. I accidentally did what I said I was going to do. Accidentally ended up back at the planet. So we're going retrograde, and we're just going to re-enter at this point. And I can arm that. No worries, Arctic Raider. Welcome. Welcome. It's fine. Fine. I guess I don't get to get a good look at it. And we're going to retro burn it all off. This is a balut. Cat, you are not helping. It's a balut. It is meant to replace the drogue chute and provide serious heat protection. Catty. It slows you down enough that you really almost don't need any form of heat shield. So I'm going to stage those things gone. Because right now I'm 40,000 where you normally would be burning up a lot, and instead I am drastically reducing my speed. Cat, no squirming. No squirming. It's just called inline balutes. And in fact, last time that question was up, I still have the thing right here. So inline balutes. Do I have a good shot of this? I think I do. Yeah, my cat'll do that. It'll confuse the heck out of you. We are ballooting down. And our parachute is fine. And we're pretty much 100% safe to slow boat the or to speed up the parachute all the way down. Aw, it's adorable. My cat never sits on my head. Probably for the best. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that story. Cats don't just sit on people they don't know or don't live with. They will occasionally wander into your house, for sure. But they're not going to sleep on you. Unless the moral to that story is your family just got a new cat and didn't tell you. In which case, I would probably accept it. Hello, kitty. Are we actually going to land on land for once? Hooray! Yes. Yes is the correct answer to that. There should be no choosing between cats or dogs. That shouldn't be a choice. They both have their benefits. They both have their, you know, different personality traits. And I mean, hell, between each cat and each dog, they have their own different personality traits. I have 2 cats, and they're both very different. Yep, parachutes open. They open Usually around 500 to 1,000 meters. It probably is low. I probably should set it at 1,000. But I'm not too concerned about it. Son of a... I hate that it does that. It drops the chutes before it's done lowering the payload. It would be fine if the chutes stayed on, because the chutes would lower it down slowly. But instead, the moment the back end touches, it disconnects and then drops it like a rock. And the only thing that breaks is the bottom solar, and the balut itself disconnects. It's not a huge deal. But I do need to set Cat down because I need another hand. Bye, Cat. I need to go over here first and recover these guys. And then I need to come back and recover that guy, because it splits them up into 2 parts. It's done that twice now. And I know it's an issue with the parachutes cutting too early. And I wonder if there's a setting on Real Shoot where you can tell them not to cut. Maybe. Let me Google that. I do not play CSGO. I am not a fan of arena PvP games. I don't like that style of game, honestly. So I stay away from the Counter-Strikes and the Call of Duties and all that stuff. If they have a decent single-player campaign with an actual story, I will do that. But most of those arena FPS games stopped even bothering with a single-player campaign long ago. I do love FPS games, but there has to be an actual single-player campaign to go with that. So most FPS games these days are not for me, unfortunately. Okay, then I need to go into here again, and then collect my other dude. Normally I would say yes, but I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to horror games, so I don't do well in tense horror situations. That's just me being a wuss more than anything else. So we are recovering that. We've got our dude back. Okay, we're good there. This is not a probe. This is a junk, if I remember right. Because this is also a junk, but they're called probes because they have a probe core on the component I was attempting to recover. But I didn't leave them enough fuel to do the recovery. That's a problem. Oh well. Oh well. Okay. Stranded Deep. I've watched some playthrough of that. Oh, Blade, I am sure there will be jump scare moments to be had still. In fact, that one zombie that was hiding in the back room, I kind of panicked at that one a little bit. because that startled me, because I thought Bart had already cleared those rooms out. So I'm sure there will be some moments on 7 Days to Die where I will probably be very, very unhappy with the game. But otherwise, yeah. See, Nick, that's the exact thing that I should not do. Because I don't like shitting bricks. It's very uncomfortable. Alright. So I cannot check this out. So I'm going to have to guess. So let's attempt to build a recovery vehicle that I can recover something. I'm going to assume it's a probe core, maybe a couple components attached to it. And then pray that it doesn't blow up. I have finally toned my sarcasm over the years. It helps me get through tech support, because if I can fine tone my sarcasm just enough, they don't get it, they don't get that I'm being sarcastic, and I can get away with saying stupid crap. But thank you. I appreciate that you appreciate it. I have not played it, but I want to play it. I think I actually have it, and I have not played it yet. Arctic, you either found me through Kerbal, or you found me through Minecraft. Because I was streaming almost all Minecraft for a while, until I switched over to Kerbal. I am attempting to be a variety streamer. I don't want to be stuck into a single game, so you'll see me bounce around games a lot. I'm just currently addicted to Kerbal, so that's how that's happening. I really want a Vive, though. One of my friends has a Vive, and I go over there occasionally and play with that, and it's great. I love it. My favorite game of all time so far is, of all things in the Portal Science Lab, whatever that's called, the arcade game, where you have a little hover drone type thing that you grab and you shoot all of the incoming laser things. And it's basically a bullet hell, but you control it with your hand, and I absolutely love that game. I got up to like 5,000th place, something like that. Which doesn't sound great, but it's out of like 100,000 people, so I'd say I did fairly well. Yes, Blade, absolutely thank you. 100% thank you. I am addicted to this game. Alright, so we need to attempt to recover the thing. So I'm going to start with a new one. And the only concern I have with Amazon Warehouse is that they would be used or refurbished, and I know refurbished do tend to be nothing more than an open box return item that no one touched, but there's still the risk that it's a used item and something that's going on my head and on my face that just kind of unnerves me a little bit. Not as much as it like being completely grossed out or anything like that, but still unnerves me a little bit. It is indeed almost midnight. It is 11:30 currently. Still sealed or resealed? Because resealing a package is not difficult. It just takes a little bit of shrink wrap and you're done. Especially for a company like Amazon that's used to resealing packages. So I would be questioning that. But I will check it out for sure. I'm gonna remind myself over on my other screen here, because a $300 HTC Vive would be really nice. The current HTC Vive on Amazon Warehouse is $539, so unfortunately not $300. But I will do a little bit more digging to see if I can find an alternate option, and we will see. Ah, see, that's not a huge discount to me because my friend who has one also works at the Microsoft Store at Mall of America, and he can get a pretty decent discount on a new one. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 off, depending on the season. So if I wait long enough, I can get a really good deal out of him. Forgot what I was doing. Yes, I was doing a thing. Okay. So we're going to start off with a drone core. And I think I want to try starting off with a small one. And see if I can make this a small, light something or another that I can launch. And then heat shield. This one is the one I wanted. What is this? That's a radiator unit. So this is the one I want. And this is the Inflato heat shield. Not remarkably big, but still a thing. And actually, I'm going to expand that right now just so I can kind of see what size I'm working with. Alrighty, Arctic, you have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Now, do I have a grabby arm? And I think that's going to be in utility, which means it's like the largest group to dig through to see if I have a grabby arm. If not, I think I can research the grabby arm. Very nice, Demon. Always good to work those systems when you can. So I've got a winch, and I think the winch is something I could definitely use, but I don't know what other parts I've got. So that is CAS. So if I mod filter down to CAS, see what parts I've got for CAS yet. Okay, I've got a portable strut, and I've got a connector port. And I've got the ground pylon. So I've got a winch, but I don't have anything to attach to it. Like a mag lift or something like that. So that's not going to help me all that much. I also have... Oh, what the hell's it called? I wish I could remember what it was called. It's the robotics mod. Is it I something? No. No, it is not. Does anyone remember what the... Aha! Magic Smoke Industries. That's what it's called. Okay, so that's adjustable rail, hydraulic cylinder, rototron. So these don't help me attach anything. These just move things. Yeah, Magic Smoke Industries is the in-game corporation name for the Infernal Robotics. So yes. So I may need to go buy the grabby arm. So just reading on a thing over here, according to... I was waiting for my parts to load, but apparently they loaded when I wasn't looking. According to Real Shoot, the parachutes are not supposed to cut when they touch the ground. But mine are cutting when they touch the ground, so something is not set up right. And it could be a setting for Real Shoot somewhere, but I don't know where that setting is yet. So I have to dig into it more, but hopefully I can find an answer to that at some point. Okay. See, I don't think I have a grabby arm. I'm going to save that for now. I didn't do anything with it, but I'm going to save it anyway. Nah. Headset being weird. Hold on. There we go. Okay, we're going to go into here and see if I can grab the grabby arm. Grab the grabby arm. I have the grabby arm. So what the hell category is the grabby arm in? I don't know what category the grabby arm is in. I also have advanced actuators. Forklift, hinge. That's a bunch of RCS. Okay. Alright, so if I grab this is the advanced grabbing unit. Okay, so I'm just going to search for grabbing and see what comes up. I suddenly have more cash. Why do I suddenly have more cash? I'm at 2,481,000, and before I was at 2,003,000 something. So why do I have more cash? No, because those were all done before. Maybe it was the tourist mission, and I just am forgetting what the hell I had and when. That's not abnormal for me, so we'll go with it. Okay, so I've got the grabbers. So I've got the mini grabbing unit, and I've got advanced and advanced grabbing unit mini. Okay, so which ones do what? This is a grabbing unit. It's Beasley, so probably don't want that one. This is the mini. Okay, that looks about right. And this is the mini, the other mini. Okay. So, arm, unarm. Arm, unarm. This one looks more imposing. This is from Mining Expansion, and this is from SETI Probe Parts. And this is vanilla. Okay. So this one has a wider, or a longer grabbing range, but not by much. I mean, it's a matter of 0.04 versus 0.06, so it's not a huge deal. I am wondering, though, if it would be beneficial to have some actuators. And the reason I'm thinking that is whatever I want to grab, I want to be hanging behind the ship so that it can be behind the heat shield. But that's not going to be easily possible unless I do something like radial engines, which is doable for sure. Now that I think about that, radial engines might be the right answer to that. Arm, not arm, arm, not arm. Oh, hey, we have different scales that we can use. Neat. Oh, that's tiny. He's adorable. He's an itty bitty grabber. Okay. So let's go with this guy. There we go. Okay. So, the other thing I want to do is fuel tank. And I think I want it to be RCS, honestly. But that's not very much RCS, is it? That's just 23, so that might not be enough to do much of anything, honestly. But if I take this one, it can't even give me delta V numbers, honestly. So that might not be very useful. Yeah, it doesn't even know how to give me delta V stats for RCS. So that's not helpful at all. I have this button, though. What does this button do? Okay, so this is RCS Build Aid is the name of the mod. And it attempts to tell you how good your RCS is. And help you build, or help you place your RCS so that they're more useful. So if I took this off, it's now attempting to recalculate. And it's basically saying I have ridiculous rotational power on this ship as it is. And I have very minimal forward and back control. And that's about it. So if I tack on another one of these, we now have even more ridiculous rotational control. And that. Okay. I don't entirely know how to read this yet, but I'm guessing the size of the rotational marker tells you how much rotational power I've got. Okay. Thinking. So this is 1100 meters per second of delta V with a 20-minute burn time. Good to know. So if I take these off, so no RCS, no usefulness. And then if we take this doohickey and put 4 of those on. Now those burn through RCS a lot. So now we're down to half the delta V. But significant amount of force being applied, which would be useful if I'm carrying a larger load. And that's where part of my concern comes in. So I think I might just need to tack on more RCS. Those are thrusting power of 1 versus the other ones I had on of a thrusting power of 0.075. So these would be more efficient. Actually, hold on. ISP 240. These are ISP of 260. So not a huge savings in our RCS efficiency. 240, 240, 240, 260. Ooh. 240. So it looks like 240 is about the best we're going to get for the most part. Unless I went with these, which are xenon gas. Ridiculously low amounts of thrust, but stupid amounts of ISP. So would be worth considering at a later date, but I don't think I'm ready for xenon gas just yet. So yeah, 260, that's good. These are efficient. I just need to add more RCS fuel. So let's do that. And better RCS fuel is going to be something like this, which is just bigger. Come on, clicky, clicky. There we go. Okay, and then if we put these back on at center of mass. Okay. Okay. I want to try this to see how well it works. But now I need to add a launch vehicle to attach to it. So let's kill that. Let's kill it this way. There we go. So, I mean, ideally, I should be able to maneuver this thing into position from behind, grab, attach. It's going to be protected by the heat shield. Everything's golden. Everything's happy. Center of mass will change as I burn fuel, yes, and center of mass will also change as I tack on a big nub at the end of it. So there's only so much I can do to fix that. So the closest thing I did was I moved these. In fact, I might even move these. I can't move them further down on top of that thing. So I'm going to move these down here as far as I can. Because once I tack on something attached to the grabby arm, the center of mass is going to shift down drastically. So I might even need to move these further down also. I don't have an easy... I'm guesstimating because I don't know how much I'm going to do that with. So let me do a test. So let's grab this and let's grab, I don't know, a standard command pod. Let's do this one, which is a fairly large module. Oh, I can't. I'm not grabbing an asteroid. I am recovering a piece of equipment from orbit that I'm being told has to be brought back alive and in one piece. So I can't use that thing that I am grabbing as the heat shield, unfortunately. So I have to heat shield it from the front and grab it from behind and drag it in. That's why I'm doing this funky build rather than a standard front grabber. But I can't attach anything to the grabbing thing, which is going to make it difficult. Let me see if I can do a coupler at all. Yeah, I can't couple to that. Because it's meant to be an end unit. So I don't know how to tackle that situation. Huh. Yeah, I don't know how to tackle that situation. Because I was thinking of doing a stack separator, which would attach here and then separate so it wouldn't be attached anymore. But apparently that's not possible. So am I going to have to stack separate and attach this thing upside down then? Yeah, I probably will. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I was hoping not to have to do that, but I mostly want to just tack something here so I could test the weight, but I can't do that, so the closest I'll be able to do is unattach this, unattach this, and then attach this, and yeah, so the weight changes drastically. I'll still be able to control it, but not nearly as well. Okay. Good to know. And I can't do too much about that because I don't have much room to work with. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So stack separator there. And then I just need to get this thing up into orbit. And it's just a really low orbit, so I only need a little bit of delta V. That is true. That will give me a better test. Let me take that thing off. Grab pod. Yeah. At that point, the center of mass change is so minute, it's not a huge deal. But that does drop my delta V to 567. Not a huge deal, but it is a thing to concern myself with. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. Actually, what I'm going to do is... recovery. I'm going to put a small balut, which also changes the weight ratio a little bit. Ooh, screen just flashed a little bit. That's weird. I may want to consider a fairing. Actually, you are correct. I was trying to avoid a fairing only because the extra weight it adds in getting this thing up in orbit, but I'm not. I guess I'm not that concerned about it. Fairings are in payload. And let's do this. Fair enough. That's a fairing. So I've got a balut. I need to do parachutes as well. Let's check stage recovery. Shouldn't need much in the way of parachutes, luckily. So hopefully that'll be enough parachute to help whatever I capture to also survive. That's fine. Stage recovery can go away. RCS build aid can go away. So now I just need to get it up in space. Doable. Let me check my lifters and see if I have a lifter that would work. This is the lifter that I've got currently. 2905. So not quite enough. This is a really lightweight lifter, definitely. I also have these lifters. That's 4,300. For sure that would do it, but that's also going to be a really bad trajectory going up. Oops, cancel that. Let's go with this lifter. No, that's my bad lifter. This lifter. That one's 4,800 delta V. A little bit much. Here we go. Only 8,000 delta V. That's fine. These are also all of my vanilla lifters that I built and copied over from my first campaign. So they might not be great because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Still don't know what the hell I'm doing, but that's okay. If I do this one and cut these off, that's 4,000 delta V. I mean, simple, effective. I think the only thing I need to do is add a drone core on this thing, and I should be able to deorbit it. Let's do drone core. Scale that down, and then I just need to throw an antenna on it, which I also need to do on my other on the other component. So I'm glad I'm looking through this. Okay, so I'm going to grab that part off, that part off. I need to add an antenna. I don't want to do that. There we go. Start deployed. Okay. And start deploy. Alright. 4,006 delta V. Save. I mean, shall we do a launch? This seems effective. I mean, so we've got that. We've got crack open the egg, decouple the egg, and then the parachute's on the way down. The balut I will add first, because that's easy. I was going to try not to worry about the batteries, because these drone cores do have pretty... Well, no, they don't have pretty decent. Okay, battery's probably a good idea. I thought they had better storage than that. Probably should do batteries and solars. That's not a very big battery at all. That's a big battery. And then on here, we can also do a battery. Let's do under here, I think. And then for solars, I suppose we can do a pair of these. Oh, those are surprisingly large, actually. I don't think I have any other smaller retractable ones, though. That'll be fine. I can put these here. Well, there's no point in clipping it inside, though. I mean, I'm not going to clip something inside just to clip it inside. It can be external. I don't need 4 of those. I just need 2. Probably don't even need the solars because this is supposed to be a really short trip, but I'd hate for it to run out of juice without me paying attention to it. So, okay, so let's do that then. We're down to 3,900 delta V, but again, this thing isn't going much more than 80 kilometers up, so it's not remarkable. All right, staging is still good, right? No, it went janky again. Okay. Okay, now we're good. Savey, launchy. The bottom piece is going to end up deorbiting pretty much immediately, so I'm not worried about that one running out of juice. But the top piece could potentially be up there for a little bit. Alright, now my challenge is going to be actually meeting up with the ship and not failing miserably. Because it's such a low orbit that correcting burning to it is hazardous, because the last time I tried it, it deorbited me before I got to meet up with it. So I'm going to have to be careful about that. I know the staging gets wonky when you do that, but to me, in my mind at least, programming-wise, if I take something off but it remains a part of the view, like your staging area, if you put it back, it should retain its previous staging. Like, coding-wise and usability-wise, that's how it should be to me. But clearly not. Alright, engage autopilot. Launch! Go! Do things! What you doing, buddy? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Why are you doing that? I think I know what happened. It was still controlling from the... oops, I meant to revert to launch. It was still controlling from the drone that I flipped upside down. So it didn't know which way was supposed to be up. I shouldn't have flipped it upside down. I should have rebuilt it upside down, or in inverse order, but whatever. I can just control from the launch drone instead of the final drone. I didn't mean to revert to launch or to assembly bay, but that's fine. I can just reroute the part from here then. Okay, so staging is back to normal. Save, launch. Kraken feels weird. His little Kraken toe tentacles are poking my head funny. Pardon me. Stuff on camera. There we go. Okay, so make sure we are controlling from the mid drone. Control from here. Engage autopilot. Launch. Okay, now it knows what it's doing. It knows how to straight. Doesn't know how to stop rotating though, because those wings add a lot of oscillation. But hopefully it just is able to angle like that and be done with it. It's going to oscillate the whole time. It's not going to be a problem, it's just going to be weird. The only way to stop that from happening is to stop it from autopiloting. Oh dear God. Okay, I might have to switch to delta wings on this because those oscillations are crazy. It's gone out of control. Okay. I'm going to have to, well, I might not need to revert. Like, it might be able to just fix itself, or at least go to orbit anyway. It's just losing a little bit of delta V with all of its craziness. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. If it goes horribly, horribly wrong, it'll be hilarious. If I disable roll control, it'll be on one of the wings, I think. But we'll see. Yeah, it's doing it one wing at a time. Because they're not radially connected anymore. Because the game doesn't know how to retain radial connectivity for some reason. But it seems to be fine. It seems to be able to fix itself just fine. Okay. Now it's just trying to... Seriously? It went to 100. What the fuck did it do? It just auto-staged everything. It just staged everything. What the fuck was that about? Alright, well, we're reverting anyway. Alright, revert to launch. Because the fuck was that? I love how you say all good now. Because you haven't seen the part where it staged everything yet. So it looked all good. Until it staged everything. It just dropped everything in one shot. Oh, dear God. Okay. So I'm going to have to get the ascent going. But I'll have to manually circularize. Otherwise it's going to stage everything. Or I guess I can just disable auto-staging. I suppose that'll be fine. That was weird. There we go. Okay. Alright, we have control again. So I can disable this now. Whoa! And the Kraken kicks in. Curse you, Kraken! Curse you! So, the Kraken kicked in, launched the rocket into the air to drop back down and destroy my thing. Well, fine then. Fine, be that way. Alright, last try. Otherwise, I'll have to revert back to Vehicle Assembly Bay to disable the wing rolling there. And launch clamps, probably, yes. Normally, I don't need launch clamps. Like, the only time I ever really need launch clamps are when I have, like, ridiculous amounts of engines in weird staging configurations. Usually, I can land, I can launch from the engine just fine. But every once in a while, it just goes crazy and the physics just decides, hey, fuck you, and it goes crazy. I think part of it, though, is the way the game is loading. It's loading physics in, like, slow stages for some reason. And there it goes. Yeah, it did it again. So, yeah, we're now to the point where the game is loading slowly. So it's loading the environment slowly, and then it eventually loads in the physics. And it's loading it in such a weird order that it's just, the physics is going to break every time. So I'm going to have to fix that. Oh, that's right, I forgot. I drank all my drink. Nah. Sadness. I am out of drink. Okay, so that I'm not going to disable roll control. I'm going to minimize the roll control because the roll control it's still going to help get the ship rotated in the proper time, because the SAS wheel that's in these drones is not very powerful. Yeah, I've seen the super hang time as well. It's pretty impressive. All right, so we are staging. I think I'm gonna do this because I like this clamp. Let me grab that. And we can turn off the shroud. I like that clamp for single rocket or single engine rockets because it's a neat looking clamp. It's very simple though. So the clamp can go down here. We're all good. And I can even raise it up a little bit just for the hell of it. Although it doesn't look nearly as neat when it's that raised up. So I'm going to lower it down a little bit. Okay. Okay. I think I'm good. I've lowered the roll control. Everything's nifty. We're all good. Save. Launch. Yeah, and I don't get to use that clamp very often because it really only visually works for single engine rockets. I guess I could use it for multi-engine rockets and just radial it, but then it would be like 4 of those things clamping onto each engine and it would look kind of weird. I will try it next time just to see if it works better. And that's from Blue Dog, I believe, which is like a direct competitor to FASA. And both of them attempt to recreate realistic or real-life rockets and the various components. So you've got the NASA umbilical cord and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that's actually a legit clamp in the world that some rocket has used in the past, or if that's one of their few departures from real life rocket replication. I don't know, but I like it. Okay, physics, are you gonna be a jerk? Oh, it tried. I saw it bounce and drop a little bit, but it's good. Alright, so we are going to engage autopilot and we are going to launch. Wow. Alright, we are rotating ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. That's good. And then it's going to pitch hard because I didn't limit the pitch control, which is fine. It's not oscillating as crazy as the roll was. Right, disable auto stage. That button. Yay! And I will not auto-deploy solar panels because those are currently in my fairing, and I would rather it not try to deploy the solar panels inside of the fairing because that would probably not go well. So hopefully this thing knows how to do the rest of it on its own. Ooh. That's some crazy pitching it's doing. God damn it. Am I going to have to fix you two? Stop pitching so hard. Oh. Stop pitching so hard. Stop it. You stop whatever you're doing. Yeah, I'm going to have to switch those to deltas at some point. Because the deltas are hard locked to a 20% angle. Whereas these things are like 100% or something stupid like that. Is that Minmus? Like right there? That thing right there? Is that Minmus? I think it is. I can't see it. It's just a little speck. But I think it's Minmus. Because Mun's up there. Ah! I forgot. I left it at a 100-kilometer orbit. I didn't mean to. Whoa. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? It's doing weird things again. Check my map. Okay, so that. And Minmus is out there. So yes, that would be Minmus. Right there. Actually, let me disengage autopilot, close that nonsense, delete that, and see if I can do a node like right here. That'll do. Okay. Point at node and just start burning. Okay. Fast forward. Burn. The frack? Is my engine gone? I have no control? What the hell? I've got charge. I've got what says local control up here. But I have no control. Weird. I have lost complete control over the ship. I think I have actually lost control of the ship and I have to use MechJeb. Like, that's weird. Yeah, I have no control over the ship whatsoever. But MechJeb does, which is weird. Fascinating. Because I've got these things. I've got all my network connections. I've got energy. I've got drones. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, something has gone horribly, horribly wrong, and I don't know what that is yet. But I can't do anything with the ship, and it's going to crash. So I'm going to revert, and... I wish I knew what the hell happened to that, because I've got antennas, I've got connection, I've got energy, I've got 2 different drone cores on there. I don't know what happened. But unfortunately, I think that's all the time I have for the night. I was hoping that would have gone better. But it did not go better. Just check to make sure my antenna's there. Yeah, my antenna's there. It's starting deployed. If I take the fairing off. It's got everything on it. Whoops. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some fiddling with that to see if I can figure it out. But yeah, it went horribly wrong. So I'm going to have to call that a night because I don't know what to deal with that, and I don't have the time to fiddle with it. So I'll for right now save that, and yeah, I will be calling that a night here. So tomorrow night is very possibly going to be more 7 Days to Die instead of our usual Minecraft. We will see about that. I don't know yet. So back to Kerbal's on Friday. Might be starting a little bit later on Friday than my usual 8 or 8:30. But we will see on that as well, because I don't know yet. But yeah, thank you all for coming. Sorry I didn't get to finish that mission, but we did finish the moon base, which was very important. Thank you for coming. Thank you for any follows I might have missed. And y'all have yourselves a good night. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.